Baker, the Rock, joining us, getting set for his junior season, fresh off the Big Ten championship. Moment to reflect and look back. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the highlights. The Big Ten championship for you, and now trying to defend it. What does that mean to Edwin Baker?
Words can't really describe how I would feel if we win a Big Ten championship 2 years in a row. That hasn't been done at Michigan State in I don't know how many years. We have a tradition of not having, 2 seasons that's good go back to back. So it's about doing that and knowing that we did a Big Ten championship also with that. Words can't really describe how I feel.
Hey, best of luck. Survive the rest of camp, and we'll be looking forward to Youngstown State coming up around the corner on a Friday night to open up the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's Edwin Baker. Where, the media member that's alongside him might be able to draw up a play, or Coach Izzo or whatever. I'm looking at the triple flea flicker with you, Kurt, Keyshawn Martin, because people might not realize both you and Keyshawn also obviously high school quarterbacks. Yeah. Is there something in that playbook? Am I getting to something?
I think Coach Roshar, being a new offensive coordinator, he's definitely going to pull out all the stops this year. So he's going to take what it needs to win. And I think, we are kind of early in the camp. We are getting into a groove a little bit. We're seeing repetitive because we've been going a little bit. But at the same time, we have a lot of practice to be held, and we'll have more trickery coming in. And that's what all the teams are going to do. They're going to add a little bit, put their players in the best position to win. And we have players out there that can throw the ball, run around, be athletic, and do special things. So I think at the end of the day, Coach Roshar will dial up some things for us. I'm not going to say what they are right now because we don't even have them in yet. But I think we will be creative this year, and it'll be exciting to watch Michigan State football.
How much of a difference has that been in transition? Because he was on staff, but obviously him coming in to the offensive coordinator position with Coach Treadwell moving on to Miami of Ohio.
Oh, Coach Roshar has just done a tremendous job. Even when he was just coaching the O-line, you could see in him that he just knew everything about the offense. He could coach the wideouts. He knows everything about every position. He'll coach you just walking off the field about what you're doing. You're not even in his position meeting or anything like that. But he really understands the offense, understands guys' strengths, their abilities. He understands how to balance an offense out. We have great running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, O-linemen, and Joel Foreman and Chris McDonald. We're going to figure out the center position and the tackle position. We got it all figured out, I think, right now. And he just really knows how to be balanced, like I said, and just put the players in the best position to win.
People would say, boy, the pressure, with your grandfather, with your Uncle Chuck, who's now with Cleveland, who played here, and obviously your dad, Shane, you coming into Michigan State. Some people might want to go a different route. For you, was there ever a doubt that you wanted to be a Michigan State Spartan?
I have almost equal ties to Notre Dame, as my mom's side is really Notre Dame. A lot of them went there, but I kind of grew up going to more Michigan State games than Notre Dame. Being my dad would be force us more to go to Michigan State games than Notre Dame because that's what he always wanted to go to them. So when it really came down to the decision, I knew Michigan State was where I wanted to be. It's where I was always comfortable, and it's a familiar place for me ever since I was young.
The reviews about you coming out of Traverse City St. Francis as a freshman and just your work ethic, how much you spent with the film and watching and really were, a student of the game. Does that come, do you feel like you have an advantage because of your family tree and the coaches that you were around?
I think so. I think it's more, I enjoy the game. I enjoy learning about it. It interests me even more than just playing. It interests me to learn about it, to learn different situations, scenarios, and I think maybe that is because of my family's background on both sides. But I just enjoy it, and that makes me want to. It's not that I sit there and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I have to become. It's just I just thoroughly enjoy going in there, and if nothing else, just learning more and understanding more offensively or defensively and offensively, actually.
Defending Big Ten champs.
It's pretty satisfying, but at the same time, while you're proud of what's been accomplished, you want to move forward and make sure that you're leaving the university going up and not going down. And we set the bar high after the season we had as a junior class this past year, now becoming seniors. There's the work cut out for us because we've got a very tough schedule, but like I said, we want to be leaving this program in an even better state than we were this past year, and that's going to take a lot of work to make sure we get to that point.
I heard Coach D talk about, and I know that you like the philosophical side of him, and that's really how you lead this football team. You know what? We accomplished one goal, and that's great in his 4th season as head coach here for Michigan State by getting a piece of the Big Ten championship. But now we got to go to the Rose Bowl. We got to go to Pasadena.
Absolutely, that's always the goal when you go to play in the Big Ten. The dream is the Rose Bowl. That's the pinnacle of playing in the Big Ten, and that's what we all pursue as Big Ten players. But more importantly, we're more focused on the process. Obviously, last year we had a resume that qualified us for the Rose Bowl, and we weren't able to go for whatever reason. And so there are other opportunities, but the biggest focus is that we need to focus on the process, and that Day to day, we need to do what we can control to get to the Rose Bowl. And that's our energy and enthusiasm in practice. That's our film study. That's the way we relate with one another in the locker room. And all those things, if we can control those things and do them at a high level, then we'll let the rest of it take care of itself.